Hello, friends. How about that intro? Huh? I've been working on that for about a week. Been kind of teaching myself video production and editing, which will allow me to produce kind of a more polished product for you all to enjoy. What I'd like to talk about this week is Meerschaum Pipes. And the reason I'd like to talk about that now is because last week in my series of different pipe materials, we started off with the corncob pipe and noted that the largest producer of corncob pipes is Missouri Meerschaum. And I had to explain that Missouri Meerschaum, which is kind of a nickname for the corncob pipe, is the fact that it's kind of a homegrown American version of a Meerschaum pipe, which means it has the smoking characteristics of a Meerschaum pipe, being that it's porous and that it gives a dry smoke. So I'd like to start off with a little background of it. Meerschaum is a mineral, very similar. Now there are some pipes that are mineral pipes, mainly Meerschaum, mortar, clay, and some ceramic pipes. The rest being wooden or corncob. And Meerschaum has been highly prized. It's a great material to smoke, and it started off in about the early 1700s, about the 1720s. Meerschaum is actually German for sea foam, and I guess it got the name when Meerschaum, being very light, would actually wash up on the shores of the Black Sea. And what it is, again, it is a mineral. It's actually called sepiolite, and that's the scientific term for it. And it is the fossilized remains of microscopic sea life that has been compressed through continental drift and sediment and all kinds of geological forces. And it's been concentrated in certain areas, the biggest one being the Black Sea over by Turkey. Turkey is the largest producer of Meerschaum in the world. There's a couple of places in Africa where it's found, but by and large, it's like 90-something% of them come from Turkey. And when it became popular in the 1700s, it replaced clay as the primary pipe. It was, I guess, the first person carved it, and because of the properties that it has, being that it's porous and it absorbs the heat and tars and the moisture that tobacco gives, which makes for a cool and dry smoke. Now, the mantra for pipe smoking, and what you really want to achieve, is to be able to taste tobacco through a cool and dry smoke. You'll hear this again. And so it remained a popular material until about 100 years later, when briar was introduced. And again, it's still popular, still highly prized. And again, some of the characteristics that it has is, like I said, it absorbs the tars, it absorbs the heat, and it absorbs the moisture of the tobacco. It will burn. The bowl itself will get hotter than briar. Briar does a better job of dissipating the heat. But one of the things it will also do is the accumulation of those tars and those tars and other tars and whatnot from the tobacco will actually color the pipe. Will actually turn it amber. I've seen some examples of some 100-year-old pipes that are almost brown in their coloring. Coloring it is something that that Meerschaum owners really like to do. Another thing is the fact that it is easily carved. Meerschaum, when it's first mined, nowadays it's actually mined a couple hundred feet underground because they've been using it, been mining it out for a couple hundred years. And when it comes out very soft. It comes out like if you've ever seen where kind of homemade mozzarella cheese and kind of in a vat of water. It comes out like that. It's very soft. And what they'll do is they'll carve it into blocks, workable blocks. They'll let it dry for a little bit. They'll let it dry a little bit until it's workable, until it's hard enough where you can work it and you can carve it. Then you'll get artisan pipe carvers who specialize in meerschaum, and they will carve it out into a shape. And actually, it gets to they've got it to where you can really make some very ornate carvings. Typical ones are the kind of the Turkish king. And there's other ornate shapes and designs are really limited by the imagination, obviously the ability to use it as a pipe. And here are some more. As you can see, some of those shapes can be really artistic, and they can be quite expensive. A typical, I can't really say what the typical price is, but I've seen meerschaum, new meerschaum, as low as the 70s. I think I got mine for about 70. My wife got it for me for my birthday actually last year, about $70, $80 for kind of a basic design. And some of them can become really ornate, and they can run into hundreds and hundreds of dollars. What I like to do is I like to show a typical kind of no frills model. This particular one is mine. Now it comes in a case because the drawback of a meerschaum pipe is that it is delicate. You can break it easily. So it usually comes in a case, particularly the vintage ones. And this one is kind of a bent, kind of a calabash, either calabash or Rhodesian, depending on your opinion. And a lot of times you'll see 100-plus-year-old meerschaum pipes without the stems. Now they do sell replacement stems. They do sell stems for old pipes that, for whatever reason, and the stem is usually out of a tortoise shell. They'll come either tortoise shell or kind of a yellow, not an amber, but a kind of a solid yellow. I bought one for my brother not too long ago to see. And some of them will unscrew. This particular one, the tenon it comes in different pieces. And for this one, the tenon unscrews. And like I said, that's where you gotta be careful to go ahead and keep that tenon clean when you disassemble it and you clean it out. To clean that tenon, because although a meerschaum will not, like a corn cob, a meerschaum will not ghost, but depending what you smoke, the flavor can get caught up in the tenon, and kind of a nylon tenon. So it's important to go ahead and clean that. Now, as I said before, a meerschaum will run you, again, you could probably get some bargains on eBay, but it will run you for basic $70 and up. Now, beware if you go online and you see composite meerschaum or meerschaum that's been, basically what they'll do is they'll take powdered, like the scraps of carved meerschaum, and they'll dry it, grind it into a powder, and they'll actually form meerschaum out of it. Careful not to get those. What they do is they use epoxy as a binder. So basically you're getting a bunch of meerschaum powder held together with some kind of epoxy or some kind of material that really defeats the purpose of the porous nature and all the great things that pipe can offer you as far as the smoke. So be careful with that. So that is the second in a series of pipe materials that I want to go through. And as I end this, I'll go ahead and feature some more pictures of different examples of meerschaum for your viewing pleasure. And if you have any questions or comments, please drop them below. And I will also list a couple of popular meerschaum vendors in my comments or in my description below. Again, feel free to comment, feel free to like if you enjoy the video, and please don't forget to subscribe. And starting next week, we will talk about other materials. Until then, stay smoky, stay safe and stay blessed.